Morning, y'all. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Welcome back to another day in my 2020 beekeeping season. We're going all the way from winter through the next fall, and we're halfway there. And remember, as always, guys, I'm not out here trying to do a how-to video. I'm just logging my season here in southeast Louisiana in my small operation. If you happen to like the video, you really enjoy it, you can do me a great favor and hit the thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. Ooh, the sun's just coming up, and it is nice and cool out. It is 70 degrees and it's not terribly humid. So I want to do a couple things while it's early. I need to unite or combine a couple bees. Just a couple. 2 or 3 bees. Yeah, 2 colonies. Guys, I got 2 colonies here. I've got that 2 frame that I mated a queen in, and I pulled the queen and put her over there in over number 3. Got her queen right, and darn it, I didn't get this the bees back out of there soon enough, so they turned around and made some emergency cells, and I just kind of let them make those cells, and I said, well, we'll just leave and see what happens. Well, they didn't make, and it's summertime and all, who knows what'll happen. We got a lot of dragonflies, whatever. She didn't come back, or she didn't make, or maybe they were duds, but nonetheless they didn't make it. So I need to get those bees in the hive. And I had a 5 frame nuke. I didn't even realize, I just left it there, didn't even think about what it was, but I did. I went to a hive about a month ago, and there were, oh man, plenty of swarm cells. So I split them all off. I did two frames there, a 2 frame over there, and a 5 frame over there. So 1, 2, 3, that's 4 hives, and three others made it, and that one didn't. I had forgotten all about it. I'd forgotten I'd done 4 splits off of that hive, and didn't even check it. Went in to check it one day just because I was like, what's this nuke doing here? And lo and behold, it had slam full of honey and pollen, no eggs, no nothing, just a bunch of bees. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? You know, it's kind of frustrated, like, where'd this queen go? Went and looked at my notes, and that hive was one of those splits. I just never checked it to see if she got mated. Obviously she didn't, so I'm gonna merge that one too, if there's even many bees left. So we're gonna do a quick merge this morning, a quick combine, quick unite, whatever you want to call it. I need to get going and get that done before it gets hot. So I may even go through my top bar today while it's still cool. Alright guys, let me get suited up and we'll get rolling. Well, the first thing we need to do is go identify the hive we want to combine with. Now this was a swarm. I got 2 hives I can combine with. I'd like to combine with the one next to it, but we'll see. One was a swarm, and one is number 15. It's kind of weak, so 15's been up and down, but I like to combine with the little swarm. I'm gonna go in and take a look and identify if I even want to combine them. So let's take a look at that, because look, you gotta be careful, and I'm just saying this from my experience, and you do what you need to do. Listen to your mentors and your sources, but in my experience, combining is, I've done it where I've just done it willy-nilly and ran around and slapped hives on stuff, and I've ruined hives. I've done it thinking it through and still had a hive that, you know, I think I had it in another video, it really, I wanted to pond, it ruined a good swarm. I've had 2 this year that ruined good swarms, combines did. But I guess what I'm saying is, think your combines through. You know, 2 weak hives, you know, or a weak and a strong. Which one are you putting? The weak one? Yeah, you might be putting a very weak hive with a good strong hive, and you may destroy that good strong hive, especially if you're doing pre-winter combines, because I'll do those usually in September. I'll do them now. I'll do them whenever. I'm doing them right now. But we kind of do those here and there, and you don't want to ruin a colony going into winter. Combining is tricky, and you'll find 2 sides of the fence on that. Some people don't combine at all. There's times, like at the pond, I shook them out. I wasn't combining a hive that had genetics that continued to supersede over and over and over and over. I wasn't combining it with a good hive. I shook those out. There's other times I combine no problem. Or maybe combining before a honey flow. You know, you got weak hives. They're healthy, but they're just not growing fast, or they haven't grown fast, maybe because of a split or a swarm or something. And in that case, sure, you know, that's a good time to combine, I would suppose, if that's what you like to do. I do that, and I know people that do it. But when you combine, think it through. Think about what you're doing. I've had some times where, you know, I just don't combine real weak, sickly hives. I let them weed themselves out. The only reason I'm making this combine is because they're just excess bees. They were a split on a cell. The cell may have been bad. The queen may not made it back. You know, who knows? But the cells that went in there came from healthy hives, good, healthy, swarming hives, obviously, and they went into just a bare nuke with some bees. So they didn't make a queen, and that's 2 of them. So I'm comfortable doing that, but I'm gonna be real careful about combining a real weak hive. If anything, I'll combine 2 weak ones. Maybe they can make it work together, but I don't like to ruin my hive, especially this late in the year. It's winter time coming up, and say, you know, 3 or 4 months we'll be done. It'll be over, everything's done, and we're going into winter. I like going into winter strong as I possibly can to give myself the best chance to come out of winter with the least amount of dead outs. So just a little word on combining and what my experience has been. Just think about your combines. Think about when you reunite them and what you're doing. All right, let me check this and see if it's worth doing. Otherwise, I'll have to put them on 15. Let's take a look. I don't expect the bees to be horrible, guys, but it did rain last night. But it was at night, so and it's a nice day. But I noticed none of them are flying. I had a nuke all of a sudden decide to come out. The one you're sitting on is the one I want to combine over. Oh yeah. And remember, we're just adding excess bees, so I'm not sweating necessarily hurting the hive with a bad strain of genetics. Basically, one was a 2-frame that got a queen cell, and the other one was a 5-frame that got a queen cell. Well, I say they made their queen cell. Yeah, they look healthy. Hey, I suggested those yellow glasses. I got a lot of people asking where I got them. Those yellow safety glasses with bifocals of your choice. Look, a guy named M. Mast on YouTube is the guy that suggested those to me. That wasn't my idea. He suggested those to me. And it was a great suggestion. I'm just passing it on to y'all, just so you know. Yeah, this is a healthy hive. This was the swarm we pulled out of the crepe myrtle. Let's look at one more frame. I hadn't been in this one in a while. Let's take a look. They seem a little bit spicy. All right, this was a new frame. Really, she's doing just fine. I mean, not the most beautiful pattern, but they're capping everything off. It's actually a nice single. Alright, I'm gonna leave them alone. They look good. They seem clean, right? Alright, so this is next door. The little nuke that I ain't giving no smoke. Give me a little smoke. And this is who I want to merge with them. This is just full of honey. Barely any bees. Yeah. So we're gonna merge them. So let me go get a deep to put these in, and I'm gonna go grab the 2-frame and get this thing going. So here's what I got. I went and got me some frozen frames. I'm gonna put them in between the 2 colonies. I'll put the 5-frame on one side, put the frozen stuff in the middle, then I'll put the 2-frame. And what's gonna happen is I'm giving these bees mostly honey and pollen from these, and nectar, not cured yet. I'm giving them one undrawn foundation. What I don't want to do is give them a ton of undrawn foundation here in Louisiana this time of year, and that's because of small hive beetles. I'm already giving a hive or colony that's comfortable, numbers look good in one deep. To put a second deep on with not that many bees, I'm relying on the brood that comes out, and I'm hoping they'll fill, but that's a lot of real estate to guard. So I don't want to give them a ton, but I need to combine them. That's one of the reasons I rethought about putting them on 15, because they were weak. It's not a big hive. So I'm gonna give them some food, and I'm gonna bank on the fact that they can guard their entrance, and I'm gonna give them a couple thousand bees, and we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully the brood that emerges, the bees that they have, more she lays, you know. But the problem is the queen begins to lay down here. Start slowing down her laying now. It's getting into June, and you'll begin to see, especially July and August, the patterns get real small. She still lays, but they get small because there's no nectar. It's a dearth. They know to conserve, so that's the plan. So let me get going and get this done. Tell you what, I opened that nuke earlier. They're not friendly. Look at that. Yeah, they'll be able to guard that. But they're all home now too. So it may look, I'm giving them a lot of smoke because I want them down. I want these bees in here. Put them in there. Old newspaper combined. Still giving them some old classifieds. That's all I got left over. Nobody reads the paper anymore. So you wind up with stuff that's out of date. If they can't, they can't keep up with current events. They have no clue about what's been going on with pandemics and stuff. But give them what you can. Seems like I've done a lot of combines this year early. And I'm thinking about giving them actually a frame of foundation too, instead of one of those drawn. They're going to have enough food. Right now, this time of year in Louisiana is when our beetle population is going to begin to explode. I don't want a lot of real estate from the guard. And while a foundation true is real estate, that is right, it is actually, though, a place where the beetles can't lay. It's not just about the amount of space, it's what the beetles have as far as what they can lay eggs in. And so what you don't want to do down here is give them a ton of space to lay eggs in. So I may take one of these. I do want to give them one drawn though that's empty. See, these are frozen. I'm going to put those in between the two. There's no brood to chill, and that's basically a pollen frame. They don't need that. So I might leave that out. Yeah, I'm going to leave the... I just hate to not give them any space. But we'll leave it. We'll see. Let's stick with what we thought about. Now, let's move the 2-frame in. I'm going to double check this 2-frame for eggs. It's all pollen and such. Plenty of honey to give these other bees. It's all nectar. I'm just looking to make sure I don't see a queen, because I don't want to do that. I don't see anybody there that looks familiar. Okay. See, it's all pure nectar. I'm looking for a queen. It's all nectar. Looking carefully for a queen. And I'm going to search the box. It's kind of a fat frame. Put it against the edge. And then I'll shake them on the other end. Alright, so I looked. I'm going to shake them into the back end of the box. I did not see a queen. So why did I look for a queen knowing I didn't see eggs? Well, there was nowhere for her to put eggs. There's no... I would think they would make a space for her if they knew she was on her way to being mated. But I don't know that that's necessarily... I don't know. I I don't know that they necessarily do that because they've been without a queen for a while, so they filled up during the flow and they caused their frames not to have anywhere to lay. So they only had 2 frames. They had to do something. So maybe, I don't know, maybe, you know, she is in there. So I wanted to check. Plus, she could still be a virgin with another couple days to go before she lays, just based on time frames. So I wanted to double check. Alright, we're getting ready to combine everybody now. There's not a lot of bees in here, so it's not a big deal, if you're wondering. Again, I had forgotten all about this. I thought it was just a regular, I thought it was one of my swarms or something, and it was just clicking along, and I said, let me check it. I haven't been in a while. And I found nothing but honey and pollen. And no eggs in the spots there were any room left. They're not growing, so they don't have a queen. I say that, watch, I'll probably find one. Huh. No sooner than I say that, look. That's a queen. Look at that. She's new too. Well, we'll combine the 2 frame and we'll call it a day. Problem is she's got nowhere to lay. She's gonna need a frame. I'm gonna have to give her one. Alright guys, plan B. Now, I went through that hive a while back. I didn't see her. I wonder. I think what I'll do is go get them some frames and we'll let the slide this to the center. I'm gonna cover them back up. I'll re-inspect for her in a little bit. She had no eggs in there, but she has no space, so I'm gonna have to give her a frame to lay in. Leave that cracked for a minute. I need to go check and see if I got somewhere to put a drawn comb in this nuke, and then we're gonna go through that. I'm gonna fill this up with some foundation and give so they don't have much space to guard, and that's it. So we didn't end up combining this one. That's interesting. All right, guys, so I'm back. I went and got a frame. This is drawn out. That's unusual. I went through here the other day. Just based on the time frame, she should have had a little bit of room to lay before they filled it up with nectar during the flow. But again, I'm not seeing eggs at all. Something is not right with her because they're roaring good and loud. She's not putting eggs anywhere where there's space. I almost hate to waste a frame on her. These are the kind of hives that I say, you know, maybe she was just a dud. I'm going to give her a frame. And I'm gonna give her 1 week. If she's not laying in a week, I'm gonna have to find her and squish her and combine this hive. She's gonna get a frame to drawing frame she can play with. I don't think that's gonna do anything now. We're at the end of the flow, so there shouldn't be a bunch of nectar coming in. What I should have done when I saw her was kill her and combine them. Well, hey folks, it's a little while later. I had to come over here in the shade and cool off. Got me some water, get hydrated again. Went a lot longer than I thought past when I shut the video off. So there was a 2 frame. If you guys been following me, you know that 2 frame, I use it to mate a queen, and she mated a virgin from the kitchen. She's now mated. She's in hive 3. She's laying, and I left the bees there and didn't empty them out in time, and boom, all of a sudden I got emergency cells. So I left the emergency cells and see what happened, and they didn't pan out. I'm sad about that because I didn't want to get that queen and give it away to somebody that needs one, but she just didn't make. So I want to combine her in that 1 hive. I had 2 hives I could have combined with. I chose one with more bees because I was getting ready to give them more real estate. I didn't want to have a weak hive trying to guard more real estate because beetles really start picking up this time of year in June. So went ahead and put them in with some honey, frozen frames. I was going to separate the frozen frames between them and the 5 frame. Went to go in the 5 frame, and there was a queen. I went through there last week and searched high and low, and even checked this time, and there's no eggs in there. She's not laying, and she's small, and she's been in there a long time, because that is a hive that I split swarm cells from another hive, and I did a 2 frame there, 2 frames there, and that nuke. Well, I got those, and they made queens, and I forgot about that nuke. I didn't even check it. Went to looking to see what nuke that was the other day and realized that was one of the splits. Went in and looked, and it was full of honey and pollen and nectar. There was some open cells here and there, and there were no eggs. Looked high and low for a small queen, didn't see one. Just thought, hey, she just don't have anywhere to lay. So she was on the list to combine. Opened it up, there she was, small. I hope the camera caught her, but she was small. So that's why it looked so hard in a 2-frame. What I didn't want to do is throw an inferior queen off into my good hive. And that's what I was talking about, combines. You gotta, watch what you combine. Well, anyway, didn't see one in the 2-frame, found her in the 5-frame. You second guess yourself. I'm second guessing myself, and now I know confidently I should have grabbed her, squashed her, and combined that few bees. That hive is so low right now, I shouldn't even have done it. But what I did was I gave her a full frame of drawn. I'll give her a week. Who knows, she might start laying. I should have squashed her. But I have a problem just killing the queen off if I haven't given her a chance. And her frames are full of honey, so maybe she just needs a place. I hate killing them because maybe that's a viable colony that'll take me in the winter in a few months. But anyway, I'll give them a week. But what that does now to the other box is it gives them a whole bunch of space up top to guard. The one I combined to, and it's beetle season. I'm telling you, now is when it gets big. So I went ahead and stuck some foundation in there because while it's real estate, at least the beetles can't lay eggs in it. So I kind of got them settled, and I'll go back in a week, check that nuke. If she's not laying, I'll combine it with the hive after all. And in a week or two, if that hive that I combine with, just not enough bees to guard the top, I'll shake them all down and I'll condense them back down to one. Because of what I want to do is make sure now that I'm not giving space to the beetles, because now honey flow's over, we're going to go into a dearth. I want to make sure all the hives are going to be set for the dearth, strong enough to get through it, strong enough to guard their hives, all that good stuff. I'm just laying low, guys, right now, just managing a few little miscellaneous things with the hives. I know it's boring kind of sometimes, but I told you I was going to take you through my season, and I'm taking you through my season. So this is part of it. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead and go for now. I appreciate all you guys watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did like the video, and share it with your friends, your family, anybody just enjoys watching bees. This is Barry's Best Hunting. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon and a great rest of the weekend, and God bless y'all.